Okay guys, this is our quick little video on what we looked at today. Now remember, today we went through a lot of material. For some of you it's brand new, but remember it's not all that complicated. You just got to go through it and do the practice. Okay, so I'm going to review the formula for slope of a line, and from there I'm going to do two examples. And I would really like you to just try, take the risk to go ahead and see if you can do all 10. Some of them are really complicated. But you know what? Go for it. Take the risk to make a mistake. So remember, we are dealing with the slope of a line. It's the number one thing that algebra leads up to. So all the work you've done in algebra, it's actually leading us up to doing this unit. Now I'm using a different camera at home here, so see how it kind of goes in and out of focus? So I apologize for that, but it's just the setup I'm going to use today. So the very first thing we got to look at is this formula. Y equals mx plus b. Oh yeah, that is a little tricky. There we go. I'll just put my pencil on it and it should zoom in. Now y equals mx plus b. Remember what we talked about, y and x. These are the two variables. Wow, that's really going in and out of focus. There we go. Y and x are going to be our coordinates on our graph eventually. So that's how we test it, but we'll show you that next week. On our t-table, x is always on the left side, so you got to just keep those straight. Now, what is y? Y is a coordinate, x is a coordinate. So there's really two things you have to be concerned with here, the m and the b. I'm going to start with the hard one first. Ready? New color. Sweet. Let's put the m in a green square. Now, m is actually a coefficient on x. So in our algebra, we have ax plus b equals c. You see how the a was the coefficient on x? That's what m is. M equals slope. That's the slope of the line. So on my graph, here's my graph. If we have a line that goes straight up, 1 over 1 up, like a staircase, okay, that is a slope of 1. But if we have a line that comes way up like this, see how much steeper it is? If you're on a bike riding up this way, this would be okay. This almost impossible. This would be a slope that would be twice as big. Now, if our slope comes in this way, hey, you could crank through that on a bike, right? No worries at all. That easy slope. This would be a slope that would be 1/2. Now, all of these slopes go up from the left to the right. Therefore, those are going to be positive slopes. But how do we actually calculate the slope to put it into our formula? This week's work is. Well, slope is defined as the rise divided by the run. Rise is how much we go up, run is how much we go over. We also talked today about this wonderful little formula called delta y over delta x. What does delta stand for? Do you remember? So delta is going to be a change in. So this means a change in y divided by a change in x. These are the numbers you pull directly from your t-table, and you're going to leave them in fraction form. So you're never going to actually have to calculate that. Okay? So the slope is going to be delta y over delta x. There, it goes out of focus again. That's okay, we'll get it. Now, the last one we got to look at is b. What color can I use? How about blue? B. Now this one says it's positive b, and it could be positive or negative. This is just our formula. So b is going to be our y-intercept. Or another way to think about this is, what is y when x equals 0? Okay, remember today we talked about our magic 0 row? Once you identify where x equals 0, whatever y is, when x is 0, that's going to tell you your y-intercept. Whatever that number is, we tag it on to the end. Okay, that's why this formula is called slope-intercept. formula. M is our slope of the line, which is how steep it is. And B is where it crosses the y-axis. That's the formula. That's the background. Let's put it into practice. Okay, so I'm going to do 2 of these problems that I gave you to work on. I'm going to start with this one right here. This one's pretty straightforward. This is the easy one. Now remember, if you can't do anything else this week, what I expect you to do is what I am doing right now. If you need to pause the video and just write down exactly what I write down, I want you to do that, because the more you do it, the easier it will get. So the very first thing we do, just like we did in algebra when we were simplifying, we are going to calculate our delta y and delta x. Okay? So we start at the top. Make your dragon's teeth or whatever you want to think. You can do it on both sides. This is our delta. How much is x changing from this to the next one? How much did it change? 0 to 1. If you said 3, you're wrong. Okay? From 1 to 2, how much is it going up? This isn't rocket science. It's going up by 1. So my delta x, or the change in x, equals positive 1. You must write this down. Well, you don't have to, but if you do, you'll thank me for it later on. Next one, y. So here we have negative 2 to 0, 0 to 2, 2 to 4. What's it going up by? 10? 20? No, you're right. 0, negative 2 to 0 is going up by 2. Here, up by 2. Up by 2. My delta y is going to be positive 2. Okay? So far so good? Good. Now let's look at our m. We're going to calculate m. M is delta y, the change in y, divided by the change in x. Write it down, just like I showed you here. It's a formula. Don't make this complicated, because when you start to do that, you get confused and you don't want to work anymore. So make it simple. So delta y over delta x. Now, see how delta y is over here? I've already calculated it. We write it in. Plus 2 divided by plus 1. Fraction line is divide by. What is 2 divided by 1? Well, when you put 2 into 1 groups, you still get positive 2. My m equals positive 2. That's awesome. Right? Next thing, we got to look at our b. What does b equal? b equals our y-intercept. So it's the value of y when x equals 0. The magic 0 rule. The thing that Mr. Paul spent 4 years trying to figure out. Right there. Circle it. Repeat that. Circle your 0 row. You'll never get it wrong. When x is 0, y is negative 2. Do we have everything we need for our formula? Well, let's find out. Y equals mx plus b. What is my m? My m was positive 2. So I write y equals positive 2x. The x is a variable. You can't put a number on it right now. What is my b? Well, we just determined it was negative 2. So instead of plus, I'm going to write minus 2. Y equals positive 2x minus 2. That's the formula for this line. We're going to be working with that next week. So that's the strategy. Okay. I'm writing this all on the page. You're going to run out of room, so why don't you do something and actually label this. 3, 4, 5. Label them. Do them on a separate piece of paper. Just this part, the math. So this one was straightforward because my delta x was 1. Let's move on to this one. Quick review. Slope. Intercept form. The value of y is equal to mx plus b. M is my slope, the steepness of the line. It's what I multiply x by. The way you calculate it is with delta y over delta x, the change in y over the change in x. The b plus b at the end is my y-intercept, or the value of y when x equals 0. Okay, so B, the letter B stands for the y-intercept, which is the value of y when x equals 0. Here we go. This time, not so much explanation. Where's my 0 row? Right here. Good. So what we do is we're going to circle it. Okay, I've already discovered one of my numbers. What is it? Is it my delta x? Is it my delta y? Is it my slope? Or is it my b? The value of y when x is 0 is my b. Write it down, plus 14. Alright, here we go. First step. Am I still recording? Good. Oh, we're at 11 minutes. That's pretty good. So here, draw my teeth. This is a comparison between all of the numbers on this line. I'll move it up so you can see it. Hopefully it will. Wait, it's going to get crazy. Ah. There. Now can you see better? Come on, zoom in. Focus in, camera. Focus. Oh, almost. I'm sorry this is so blurry, guys. That's really weird. Oh well. Yeah, it's good enough. So delta here, we got 0 to 3, 3 to 6, 6 to 9, 9 to 12. I really want that to focus better. There we go. That looks better. So we got 3, 6, 9, 12. What's that going up by? 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. My delta x is this number over here. Sweet. 14 to 17 to 20 to 23 to 26. It's going up by what? That's going up by 3 too. This is going to be a boring equation. Plus 3. Delta y equals plus 3. Slope. Don't get lazy here. Delta y over delta x. I guarantee if you don't write that little equation down, oh, now we're blurry again. Come on. If you don't write that equation down, oh, I'm going to have to shoot this whole thing over. I can't. You're going to have to fight through it here, guys. Here, maybe I can go like this. There we go. So it's going up by 3. So my delta y is going to be positive 3. My delta x is positive 3. What I was saying is that if you don't write this step down, m equals delta y over delta x, most students at some point will flip these around and you'll get the very wrong answer. So make sure you're actually being specific with that. Okay? It really does make a huge difference. Isn't that funny how it's only focusing on part of the page? Focus here. Maybe if I point at it enough. Alright, so now we write down our equation. This video is going sideways quickly, guys. Here, let me hold this down. Now I'm holding my camera while I'm writing. That's exciting. Y equals, what is it? M x, say it, plus b. Excellent. Here's my m. We never solved for m. What is m? Delta y is positive 3 divided by positive 3. What is 3 divided by 3? Positive 1. Very good. I have my b, I have my m. We take the m, stick it in. Y equals positive 1x. B is right here. It's going to be plus 14. Circle your answer. You're done, done. That's what that is. I'm going to show you a couple of tricky ones on this side. If my camera is going to, right here, can you focus in there, camera? Let's call the camera Bob. Come on, Bob, help me out here. Bob. Maybe if I focus there. Wow. There we go. Good. Just needs a little time. You'll notice how this one goes 5, 7, 3, 1, 9. Rewrite this whole table in order. Yeah, that's really important. Now over here, I want to show you this one. Bob will stay with me. Perfect. Right away, what do you notice? How is my delta y going? Is it going up or down? 20 to 10, that's minus 10. So my delta y in this one is going to be a negative number. So watch out for that. Because now if we have, well, let's just do it over here. What's my delta x? Delta x is going up by 3. So this is going to be positive 3. So if I'm calculating the slope, I can't believe I'm holding this camera right now. This is ridiculous. So my slope equals delta y over delta x. Oh, and it's still not zooming in. This is probably the worst video I've shot in 5 years, guys. My apologies. My delta y is going to be negative 10 divided by positive 3. Oh, that's tricky. Okay, now there's a bonus if you're watching right now, because we're not going to take this to a decimal. First off, what is 10 divided by 3? That's going to be a negative number. Okay, because a negative divided by a positive is going to be a negative. Now, we have to convert this to a mixed fraction. So how many 3's go into 10? 3. What do I have left over? 1/3. I've just pretty well, let's just do the whole thing. I've already got it here. This is another bonus. My magic 0 row is right there. So my b is going to equal 10. Can't believe how bad this video is. Let's finish it up and then I'll let you guys go. So my b is going to be 10. My slope is negative 3 1/3. Y equals mx plus b. So y now equals my slope, negative 3 1/3 x. It's positive 10 plus 10. So there's 3. See if you can apply that to the others. Just talk to yourself like you heard me talking on the video, and hopefully you will do just great. Alright, good luck, be brave, take risks, and at least have those 3 done. I've given them to you for free. Talk to you soon.